President Donald Trump's continued lashing out at football and basketball athletes, sports with high percentages of black players, raises questions about the complicated nexus of race, sports, and politics, some African American studies scholars say. Yesterday, Trump again attacked LaVar Ball, the father of the UCLA basketball player who was detained in China with two of his teammates who were arrested on accusations of shoplifting on November 7 while scheduled to play their season opener in Shanghai. Ball is an ungrateful fool and a poor man's version of Don King, Trump tweeted, referring to the controversial boxing promoter, but without the hair. Trump also previously pointed out that he secured the release of UCLA players LaVar Ball, Cody Riley, and Jaden Hill. After their arrest, the three college basketball players were released on bail but were required to remain in their hotel in China until the legal process was over. While in Asia on a foreign trip at the same time, Trump appealed to Chinese President Xi Jinping for their release back to the United States. The three players returned to the United States November 14 and apologized in a news conference the next day, admitting to shoplifting and thanking Trump for securing their return home. It wasn't the White House, it wasn't the State Department, it wasn't Father LaVar's so-called people on the ground in China that got his son out of a long-term prison sentence, it was me. Too bad. LaVar is just a poor man's version of Don King, but without the hair. Just think. LaVar, you could have spent the next 5 to 10 years during Thanksgiving with your son in China, but no NBA contract to support you. But remember LaVar, shoplifting is not a little thing. It's a really big deal, especially in China. Ungrateful fool, the nature of and language in Trump's tweets could strike some as racially coded, said Douglas Hartman, a professor of sociology at the University of Minnesota who has written about politics, sports, and race. Not only is it racially coded, and more or less visibly and intentionally, but I think it is also kind of another way that Trump uses Twitter and other things and sports in particular to distract from other issues, Hartman said. Ben Carrington, a sociology professor at the USC and author of the 2010 book Race, Sport, and Politics, said that Trump's tweet and the language he uses clearly has racial overtones. Trump will constantly use racially coded language that he knows plays to his base, Carrington told ABC News. Carrington argued that one such example is Trump's speech at a rally in Alabama back in September, where he said, "Wouldn't you love to see one of the NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say get that son of a b, off the field right now?" When Trump uses language referring to black athletes or other black figures that kind of speak out in terms of them being ungrateful and undeserving of their place in sports, he's reinvoking that dark era in American sports in which that language was explicit and black players couldn't play, Carrington said. The criticism of LaVar Ball is one of several attacks Trump has launched against athletes.